Hello everyone, Laura here, and today we are going to chat about a very important topic, and that is runner safety and ways that you can protect yourself. Now, many of the tips I'm about to present are based on common sense, and chances are you've heard about or read about them before. But you know what? There have been far too many cases of runners being assaulted, so we could all use a refresher course, myself included. Also, this content is geared mostly towards women since statistically we are more at risk. But guys, you are not immune to this conversation, so I will try to keep my language gender neutral. So let's get right into it with the first tip, and that is to run with a dog, a friend, or a group. There truly is safety in numbers since predators are mostly on the lookout for runners who are alone and vulnerable. If you do not have a running partner, you can find possible groups to run with by going to your local running store and asking them. Also, there's a good chance that there is a Moms Run This Town in your local area. By joining their Facebook group, you can meet other nearby runners and arrange for group meets. The second tip is to run on a well-traveled path that is well lit. This tip does not need any further explanation and falls into the common sense territory, but it does not guarantee safety. My favorite local running trail is in a very safe part of town. You would not imagine an attack taking place there, but in the past several years, there has been 3 attempted abductions against women on that trail, one of which happened while I was there, while I was running. I didn't even know until I got to the parking lot, and these other gals asked if I was okay, if I saw anything, and it shook me up. I'm not gonna lie, it shook me up very hard. So yes, while it is safer to stick with a well-traveled, well-lit path, it does not guarantee safety. You also want to be extra cautious around hedges, buildings, trees, any type of area where a potential predator can hide and ambush you. Also, if you see someone sitting in the driver's seat of a parked car along the road, try to keep as much distance as possible between you and them. Number 4, chances are you're doing this already, but always carry a phone. Even if you're only going for a quick trot around the neighborhood, you want to have a way to call for help if you need it. The next tip is to wear some type of identification or use a tracking app. Companies such as Road ID makes awesome identification products such as bracelets, necklaces, ankle straps, tags you can put on your shoes, dog collars, or clips that you can attach to your Garmin, your Apple Watch, or your Fitbit. They also have a great tracking app that you can install on your phone. That way, another person can always be notified about where you're at. I personally would only wear this while running, however, because you don't want your private information easily seen by others. Some training apps, such as Garmin Connect or Runkeeper, also have really good live tracking features that you can use as well. Technology is wonderful, but leading into tip number 6 is still a good idea to tell someone where you're going to be. I live right beside my mother, and she knows all of my different training routes, so I will call her up, tell her which one I'm taking, and how long I expect to be gone. Only problem is, sometimes I forget to call her when I get back, and then I'll get this panicked phone call. Petey, are you dead? Yes, my nickname is Petey. Very good idea though. The next tip is to leave the headphones at home, and if you are wearing earbuds, have only one in or make sure they are the kind that allow ambient noise to come through. Yes, listening to music or podcasts is a great way to stay motivated and can make those long runs feel shorter. And yes, fancy headphones such as this do improve audio quality and make you look pretty cool, but they also make you look like something else, and that is a potential target. By wearing headphones or spending too much time being focused on your phone, you are sending a message that you are distracted, that you are more focused on your tunes and training than your surroundings. Which leads us into the next tip, and that is to always appear confident and aware. You want to run with a sense of purpose, keeping your body language strong with your shoulders back and your eyes alert. And if you do come across someone who seems shady or gets too close, look them straight into the eye so they know that you know that they are there and that you're a fighter. which leads us to tip number 8, and that is to always keep your dominant hand, whichever one has the most punching power, open. If you carry your phone, do that in your non-dominant hand. I know a lot of you are fans of the handheld water bottles. Again, carry them in your non-dominant hand, even though it might be uncomfortable at first. That way, your dominant is good to go. Tip number 10 is to carry pepper spray. Now, this is debated, with some people feeling that it can do more harm than good if you fumble around for your pepper spray rather than physically defending yourself, or if you accidentally get something in your own eye. My opinion, however, is that when you carry it in a prominent location, such as hooking it on your running belt, it gives a signal. It tells potential predators that you are aware, that you are someone who takes running safety seriously, that you are on the defense rather than the offense. So I still carry it. Now, if you saw my running totes video, then you know that I recently purchased a wrist strap alarm that I first saw on the Fitness and Fairy Tale blogs. It only cost $15 from Amazon, and it is a little awkward getting on. But I tell you what, once it's on, it's comfortable. I don't even notice it when I run, and I feel like it is a really good way. All you have to do is pull this ring, and it will emit a very, very loud sound. I did test it. I'm not going to do it today because the dogs will go crazy. So I really like this, and I highly suggest it. Just be aware that when you first get it, it will have a sticker over the battery that you'll have to remove before using. A rape whistle can also be a very effective tool, as well as your own voice. If you are in a situation you want to scream and scream loudly. Now, number 12 is, ladies, we need to rethink our ponytails. And I know us runners, we love our ponytails, but it can be used as a weapon against you if someone grabs a hold of it. So a low bun or tucking it underneath your hat is a safer option. For myself, I wear a visor that has an elastic strap in the back. I put my hair in a high or low ponytail, and then I'll twist the ponytail and tuck it underneath the elastic strap. So it also keeps it from swinging around too much, which drives me crazy. The next tip is to alter your route so you are not predictable. By following the same running path for each run, a potential stalker will learn your route. So be sure to mix things up by taking different routes, or if you run from home, go to a running path or your local high school track to do something different and fresh. Now, this next tip is not pleasant, but that is to think of a safety plan. Imagine yourself being attacked. Think about what you should do, and then imagine yourself fighting and doing whatever it takes to get yourself out of that situation. Visualize stopping a predator by hitting them in the most vulnerable places. We've all heard of sing for miscongeniality, solar plexus, instep, nose, and groin. But other effective places to hit are the eyes, temples, Adam apples, and kneecaps. Visualize yourself fighting and fighting hard. Keep in mind that I am not an expert on this topic, which brings me to the next tip. One that every woman should do is take a self-defense class. By taking a self-defense class or martial arts like Krav Maga, you'll learn how to protect yourself. You'll learn how much power your punches have, and you will develop in your subconscious a defensive edge that will linger in the back of your brain, ready to be put to use if necessary. Now, the next one is a big one, and that is, you don't have to be nice. You don't have to be nice. We are conditioned from an early age to be nice, to be helpful, to see the good in other people. But if you are alone and placed in an uncomfortable position, you don't have to be nice. You do not have to give anyone directions. You do not have to tell them what time it is. You do not have to engage in pleasant conversation, and you most certainly do not have to say thank you to an unwelcome catcall. Instead, keep boundaries. A man with good intentions will understand your need for boundaries. A man with good intention will not expect you to interact with a stranger because they would not want their wife, their daughter, their sister, or their friend to put themselves in harm's way by doing the same. A man or person with good intentions will use his own phone for directions or the time rather than ask you. So if you do find yourself approach someone with these expectations, assume that they are not someone with good intentions. If you're wrong, you're wrong, no harm done. And finally, the most important tip is to follow your intuition no matter how silly you feel. I know for one run, I was coming home and I had to take one road. There was no alternate route, and I saw two men talking by a mailbox, and my red flag went sky high. So I got out my phone, I called my husband, and I stayed on the phone with him as I passed them, scaring the crap out of my husband. I mean, oh my gosh, he was freaking out. Now, they didn't even give me a second glance, so it was most likely a severe overreaction, but it doesn't matter. My intuition told me there was a potential danger and I listened to it. So always listen to those red flags regardless of how paranoid they make you feel. If you see someone standing by a parked car that sets your nerves on edge, turn around and go the other way. And don't hesitate to call the police. I know it's something that we don't like to do because what if we're just thinking too much? What if we're causing trouble? But you know what? The police are the professionals. Let them be the one to make that decision because you might just be saving another woman in the process. So there you go, some tips and suggestions for staying safe, which I hope and pray that you all do. Did I miss anything though? Do you have any suggestions? If so, please leave them in the comments below so we can all teach each other. Until then, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate the support. Give this a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Subscribe for more video notifications. And as always, take care, have a joyful day, and be safe.